Hello and welcome from wherever you're tuning in from. This event is called It's Time We Talked, and it is indeed time we talked. We haven't had one of these live streams in over 18 months, would you believe? And we have some really exciting things to share with you today. My name is Michael Sharkey. I'm the CEO and co-founder here at Ortto. I have a few slides. I want to take you through an update on Ortto today. And then I'm going to get into two very special announcements. First up, just some housekeeping for the stream. If you want to ask questions as we go through today, you can do that in the YouTube chat. You will need to subscribe to the channel in order to chat, so make sure you hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. We'll have time at the end for Q&A, but if you do have questions as we go through the presentation today, you're more then welcome to ask them, and I'll do my best to try and answer them as we go. But if not, I'll make plenty of time towards the end here to answer any questions you might have. All right, so there is a lot to talk about today, so let's get right into it. We have two very special announcements for you. First, a brand new marketing channel we're adding to Ortto. And second, an entirely new way to talk to your customers. I can't wait to show you this. But before we get into the new updates, I wanted to just give you a quick update on Ortto and share what we've been doing from building out our customer success teams to support you better to delivering on much requested items over on our roadmap page. So I'm pleased to say today that every Autopilot customer has now been upgraded to Ortto. And this means that you still have access, if you're an Autopilot customer before, to all of the Autopilot features that you know and love, but all the benefit of Ortto as well. And I'm excited to tell you that today, almost 50% of all new Journeys customers create their journeys now using Ortto. So this is a really pleasing statistic to see. It shows that Autopilot customers are starting to utilize all of the great features in Ortto. Since we last talked, we've also tripled our support and customer success teams, and they continue to be expanded globally. Customers told us they wanted greater services like onboarding and support right around the clock. So look at this team. We've gone out and found an absolute brilliant bunch of people and built an insanely capable team for you that can support you right around the clock. And I hope you've been noticing. I've been getting really good feedback sent to me from customers, and we're also seeing this reflected in our CSAT scores and ratings that have been coming through. So thanks for all of the feedback there. We've also added a dedicated deliverability services team for customers, and this team is able to provide services to help you improve and maintain the highest deliverability standards. They're also able to proactively reach out to customers to support them should their deliverability decline in any way because they mightn't be using the best sending practices, and they can offer them improvements and suggestions to improve those results. There's also some great content that this team's put out, specifically an ebook on email deliverability, which is really worth checking out. You can find it on our website with modern email deliverability practices. And also earlier this year, Travis Hazelwood, who leads the team, and myself did a webinar on modern email deliverability best practices. And we also debunked a whole bunch of myths. So you can watch that on this YouTube channel as well, or check it out on our website. It's worth watching, especially if you send a lot of emails. So I wanted to say a really big thanks to everyone listening and our customers specifically who leave such great reviews and spread the word about Ortto. We were recently named #1 in data personalization by Software Reviews, and it means so much to us. I can't tell you how much it means. We heavily invested when we built Ortto in building the very best customer data platform for marketers. And we still have a lot to do on that front and a lot more planned this year. But it was really nice to see this acknowledged in the market and us being a clear standout when it comes to data personalization. So I wanted to thank you for all the support, leaving reviews, and helping us achieve such a fantastic result. So since we launched Ortto all the way back now in 2021, it feels like a long time ago, we've given customers access to generative AI. And generative AI now has become such a huge deal. It's everywhere. In fact, we're really entering this new era of AI. And we initially launched with subject line suggestions. We demoed in early 2021 the ability to create playbook emails just by writing a summary of the email, and we could insert images into those emails as well, which was really cool. And when we released SMS later that year, you could also get suggestions to write better message, higher performing messages. And recently, we released the ability to go one step further and predict the open rate of an email before you even sent the campaign. So you could easily see how an email would perform without needing to A/B test different subject lines. And so our focus with AI is delivering to you these solutions that fit into your day-to-day and help you be more productive. And you're going to see some more meaningful AI improvements that I'll talk you through today, and a lot more to come around the prediction front this year as well. As an organization, we're committed to continuous innovation and improvement. We don't just talk about it, we're really delivering for you. And our whole vision here is to deliver the most value out of your Ortto subscription. Since we last talked, we had over 35 major documented releases. We also delivered 186 changes from our customer roadmap page, and that's where you can voice the things you'd like to see us work on next, vote on different improvements, and just give us feedback about the product in general. And I just wanted to say a huge thank you to everyone that contributes over there. It's really helpful, and hopefully you've seen people like myself involved on the roadmap page as well. Our whole team is constantly interacting with customers on that page to try and build the very best product we can. I also wanted to cover some updates that we released late last year and earlier this year. One of those is our new template management system. And this allows you to use templates throughout the system. So you can use them for journeys, reports, dashboards, all sorts of things. There's now over 300 templates available for you in that template library. And we've seen, as of today, over 5,000 templates being used to create journeys alone. So it's exciting to see people using these templates to help them build great journeys, understand data better with reports. And if you want to browse these templates, you can do that in product, as I'm sure you're aware, or by going to ortto.com/templates, and there's a whole template library in there for you. You can also save your own templates now and even share them between accounts. And this is a great feature for our partners and agencies who use Ortto to be able to share templates with their customers. Or if you're a multi-brand account, transfer content between accounts as well. One of the most requested features was the asset manager. People wanted a single place to manage all their assets from without having to go into playbooks and journeys. So we built an asset manager where you can visualize all those assets. You can even let someone in to be able to design emails for you without having to access more sensitive parts of Ortto. So the asset manager is a great way to do all of this. And you can even compare the statistics of assets across journeys in there as well. Based on your feedback, we're also going to add very soon a template management system into assets. So you'll be able to manage your templates in the asset manager as well, instead of having to go over into a journey or playbook. And we want to keep improving the asset manager and have the best features around template and asset management available. So please keep the suggestions coming. And finally, one of my favorite features is fit and behavior-based scores. You can find this, if you haven't already, under settings, customer data, and then scores. And you can create both static and dynamic behavior-based scores. So if you're adopting a product-led growth strategy, this is a great way of creating scores that will give you an indication of the behavior of someone in your product at any given time. So you can create a product score and base it on their interaction in the product. And at any point in time, you can check in on that user and see what's the product score right now. How active are they in my product? And this can be used in a pre-sales capacity and also a post-sales capacity. So if you've got usage waning from some users, you can create a journey to reach out to them and try and re-engage them. So there's also fit scores as well. And these are where you want to score to see if this person's a good fit for your business against your ideal customer profile. And these are more static scores. And I'm pleased to say, based on feedback, we're going to add a couple more features and scoring options soon. One of those in particular that I'm very excited about is predictive AI scoring. And you'll hear more about that later this year. All right, so what everyone is attending for, the first of our big announcements today. And first up is a brand new marketing channel. So today I'm excited to announce push notifications and in-app messages for web and mobile. Starting today, you'll be able to deliver personalized push notifications to your customers on web, iOS, and Android. You'll be able to A/B test messages to get the right result, or skip testing entirely and use the AI to craft high-performing messages. So instead of just talking about it, let's jump into our first demo today and check this out. So I'm in campaigns in Ortto right now. And before we get into it, I want to talk about the business or the fictitious business I'm using today to demo, to give you some context for my demo. So I've created this fictitious app called Pickle, and you'll hear a lot about Pickle today. And Pickle is an AI agent where you upload a photo of yourself, either on a web app or a phone app, and then the AI becomes your stylist. It decides what you'd look best in, and it helps you find the right wardrobe. So that's Pickle AI agent. Now, this will start to make sense the more I go on. So I've got Pickle's onboarding here as a journey. And if I go into this journey, you'll see that the most important thing for this business is the uploading a photo. So we need them to upload a photo in order to give the AI suggestions. So this is the most important step in our onboarding. And you can see they enter the journey when they install the app. So let's click edit, and the email here says upload a photo of yourself. And that's the first step. But wouldn't it be great if I could also send a push notification to their phone or the web to tell them and remind them to upload a photo? And this is where push can be really helpful. So let's go ahead and add a delay here, and we'll select one day. I selected 3 there. So we'll do 1 day, and then we're going to add a condition. And this condition is going to look at, have they uploaded an image of themselves or not yet, using a custom activity. So upload image, we'll say has occurred, and then we'll save it out here. So under the title, we'll just say, have they uploaded an image? We'll click OK. And on the no outcome here, we're going to select for the first time a push notification. So now we're going from email to push notification. So let's do that. We'll select create a new message. And then we're going to see a screen of really nice templates that we can use and different categorizations of templates. But we're going to start from scratch today, and we'll call this remind them to upload a photo. So we enter the first step of our wizard to set up push notifications. And you can see that it's platform agnostic. So you set up a single push notification, and then Ortto will decide which platforms to distribute it on, or you can pick the specific platforms you want it to distribute on. So I don't have an Android app in my Pickle business yet. We're still hard at work on an Android app. So I'm going to remove that from the platforms that I have selected. So I'm going to distribute this message to my web push subscribers and my iOS push subscribers. Below that, I can do A/B testing, so I can A/B test 2 messages against each other. And below that, I've got some advanced options. This is one of the more important ones with push, which is how long we'll wait on this shape if they don't pick up that device. So if they don't use their phone and 3 days passes, we'll just continue on in the journey and assume that that message is no longer relevant. So let's go to next. And on the right-hand side here on the screen, you're going to see this beautiful preview canvas, which shows you exactly how the push notifications are going to look on each device and in each browser. So let's go and add the title of my first push notification here. And we're going to add a merge tag from our CDP, and we'll select first name here and save. And then we'll say, upload your first photo. So you can see over in the preview page, Mike, upload your first photo. And then the AI is also suggesting alternative suggestions here, like upload your first photo, upload your first pic, and so on and so forth. But I'm going to stick with my suggestion, my original copy, because I don't want the AI overlords to do everything right now. So under message, I'm going to put in here to start using Pickle, make sure you upload a photo. Okay, so again, I'm going to get AI suggestions for this message component here. Get started on Pickle, upload a photo, and start enjoying the amazing features. This is actually much better, so I'm going to pick this suggestion here. So now we have our push notification up here. Let's look at some of the options of viewing it on different platforms. So if we want to see what it looks like on iOS, we can switch over to iOS and see how the message will appear here. If we want to see it on a watch, we can do that as well. So this is what it would look like on an Apple Watch. And then if we want to see it on Windows, we can look at what it would preview like in the Microsoft Edge browser. So let's go back to iOS. And I also want to add an image to my push notification to just indicate how they, should upload a photo or the specific pose they should use when taking the photo. So I'm going to browse files here and pick an existing photo I have, upload that here, and you'll see that now we have this photo attached to the push image. And when they long press on the actual device, that's when they'll see this image. You can also preview how that would look on Windows Edge again, and then Mac Chrome here as well, where you have the smaller image. Below that, we have what we call our primary actions. And so this is what happens if you tap on the message, or if you're on the web, you click on the message. And you'll see that obviously different platforms have different links. So on iOS here, we have what's called a deep link, and this allows you to deep link into the app so you can link to a specific screen. And for the web push, we can nominate a specific URL, and we have merge tags in here as well if you need to use variables in the web URL. But here we could redirect to app and then upload if that was our app URL. We also provide the ability to add secondary actions. So let me add 2 secondary actions here. One could be view profile, and the other could be upload image. And so when they hover, this is where you can set those additional options they'll see on the push notification as well. Let's have a look at what that looks like on Mac Chrome. You can see here it's handled a little bit differently. And then on Windows Edge, you'll see that you get these 2 really nice buttons. I love this implementation of push on the Edge browser. It makes it really great and clear what those actions do. So that is the beautiful interface for previewing and creating push messages. Now, of course, all your merge tags work in here as well. You can preview the push from different perspectives, different users, especially if you're using highly personalized content. And when you're done, you can just head over to this review step here, and you'll get a review like you do on every campaign that you create in Ortto today. And then we can publish it into our journey. So let's just recap what we did. Super easy, really fun to create these messages. We based it on our app install, we sent our welcome email, and a day later, if they haven't uploaded an image, we're going to remind them to upload a photo. And in a minute, when the system generates it, I'll get a really nice screenshot here of the message as well. So that's creating a journey using push notifications. Let's look at one more example of a campaign type that we've added here as well. So we've also got a single send push campaign, or a blast campaign of push. So this is great for days like today when you want to tell people that you're streaming live on YouTube to send out a message to your audience. And you can just do this by filtering a specific audience and creating a campaign. And of course, it wouldn't be one of my live demos without doing something high risk. So I'm going to show you how to send a push notification to an iOS device. So let's quickly create a campaign here. We'll call it promotion. We'll select our subscribers. And on this first screen, it gives you this beautiful summary of how many people you can access on each device. So I'm going to remove web because I just want to target iOS for the sake of this demo. And in the content, I'm going to say 15% off Pickle today only. And then I'll say subscribe today for the best AI fashion assistant. Okay, so I've created my message. I'll also add an image just to show you how that actually works. So let's add the same image we had before, and so we get the preview here, and you'll see the preview options have changed because I only have selected iOS now as well. So let's hit next, and let me bring up the crazy mode here of dual screen so we can see this come through. So we're gonna send the message and click OK, and that campaign will send out. So there's a few things going on here. First of all, you've got the same panels to monitor this campaign you normally have, like recipients, you've got reporting built in here as well, and you've got the activity, and you can see this message is going out and being distributed. And if I scroll down now, because I do have my phone on silent because I'm demoing, let's bring up the phone even closer here, and we can see that the messages come straight through immediately. So that's how easy it is to distribute these messages to your customers. Save 15% off pickle, and if I long press on this, I get that image that I uploaded earlier. And if I added secondary options, I'd see those buttons as well. So that's push for web, iOS, and Android. Let's just quickly look at one more thing, which you might be thinking about here, which is how do you get people to opt in to web push? iOS and Android's pretty obvious, right? You build that experience into your app. So we've actually built into Capture the ability to get opt-in through the browser. So you can create any kind of Capture widget to do this. It doesn't have to be a specific type. And we have added some templates under push opt-in here that you can pick from. But if we select start from scratch, you'll see there's also a new type in Ortto now called prompt. And the prompt allows you to opt people in a way that feels really familiar. But you can also opt people in with the bar, with the pop-up. It's just baked into the system. So we'll use prompt just because it makes more sense, and we'll call it push opt-in. And of course, you could display these in your app, on your website. You might have seen us do this. And you can go in here and edit. And because this is set up by default for push, you'll see we've got an image in the capture, we've got text, we've got the button, and on the button, we've got request push permission. So that is what triggers the request. And you can add a button to any of these widgets to request push permission. And you'll see here under request, this is the process. They click the button and then it says allow or block, and then that's when we get the opt-in. Now, what's really great about this channel is some people like to opt in on your blog, for example, to get notified when you post next. So we've baked that technology in under push notification, web notifications. You'll see the setup in here, but one of the options is unidentified users. So you can actually store contacts now with just push permission that you don't really know who they are yet, but you can still send them push notifications. And this means you can just get a ton of subscribers off your website. Okay, so that is push notifications. Push for web, iOS, and Android is available today. It'll be available right after this presentation. So you'll be able to go and use it right away. You don't have to wait. And I highly encourage you to try web push for your SaaS app or your blog. It's a phenomenal channel. And I think one of our biggest innovations here, like the Ortto team seems to do time and time again, is just making this thing so accessible and easy to incorporate into your marketing. It's not hard to set up. You can have it set up in the next hour and start using push. For iOS and Android push, they're also available today, right now, or soon after this event. But you'll need the business or enterprise plan for iOS and Android push. Web push is available though on all plans, excluding the free plan and campaign plan. And of course, for our Autopilot Journeys users that are now on Ortto, all of these features are available as part of your existing subscription. So you can utilize push starting today. Okay, so you've seen a brand new marketing channel, push notifications for web and mobile. Next, I want to introduce you to an entirely new way to talk to your customers. But before I do that, I want to talk about why. Today, Ortto helps you unify your customer data, send personalized messages to your customers across channels, and understand customer behavior with customer journey analytics. Since 2015, we've sent billions of personalized messages on behalf of our customers across the journey. And those messages all have something in common. They all start conversations. They help you nurture leads into opportunities and sales. They help you book meetings and onboard new users and welcome new customers. And since we launched all the way back in 2015, our customers have continuously asked us to go one step further and allow them to go beyond just starting conversations from messages, but having conversations with their customers right across the customer journey. All the way back in 2016, we saw requests like this one from Matt. Build live chat functionality. Customers at the time loved heads-up messages where they could engage visitors in their app or on their website to start conversations, but then they couldn't chat to them. So our customers wanted this feature really badly. They wanted to be able to talk to their customers. We saw comments like this. It feels like you guys stopped halfway onto something really awesome, and patching things together with other chat apps is not ideal. And this feedback has continued right up until this day. So I'm sure you're thinking there's a lot of competition in this space. You could argue, why build another Drift or Intercom or Zendesk? What makes us think we can do better? And that's literally how we justified not doing this for our customers in 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, and 2020. It just didn't make sense to recreate these platforms, even though our customers kept asking. But things changed when we shipped Ortto. We now had complete context about the customer. We had a platform that was great at messaging. We had customers sick and tired of paying for multiple subscriptions when they just wanted a single platform for messaging. And we believed in this new era of AI, we could bring true innovation to this space. With AI, teams could finally focus on the conversations that mattered, and we could deliver on the original promises of chatbots. And so, after a lot of work, that's what we did. I'm very excited to introduce you to Talk. Talk is built from the ground up for an omnichannel and AI-powered world of business communication. And I can't wait to show you this in a minute. It's beautiful, fast, and fun. It feels like you're using your favorite messaging app, like you're talking to a close friend. And it empowers you to have superhuman knowledge with the help of custom-trained AI that is unique to your business. With Talk, you'll be able to deliver incredible customer service and experiences at scale. You'll generate new leads faster and close more deals. Your CSAT will be higher than ever before, and importantly, your team is going to love using Talk. All right, so let's look at Talk now. And I thought the best place to start this demo today would be to show you what the user experience is when you're running Talk on your website or in your app. So let's jump back to our mobile view, and now we're on the mobile Pickle website. And you might have noticed something in the bottom right-hand corner, which is my Pickle app icon here. And that icon is completely customized from Talk. So one of the great things about Talk is it's highly configurable and it can fit into your website and you can customize it however you want. So let's chat to Pickle for the first time. And the first thing you'll notice here is this nice physics effect as it just springs up. It's also really light on resources, so it loads incredibly fast, and it just works great. It fits into your app. It's not going to slow things down, and it doesn't have that clunky feel a lot of these apps have. So at the bottom, I've got some quick links set up in my Pickle version of Talk here, and at the top, I can start a new conversation with the Talk team. The Pickle team. So I'm going to click Start a Conversation here, and I'm really interested in Pickle because, I could use a fashion AI assistant, but I'd like to know how much Pickle costs because I don't want to commit to this if it's going to cost a fortune. So I'm going to ask, how much does Pickle cost? So you can see the message was sent there, and then it's asking me to identify myself because that's the option I have set up. So I'll go ahead and put my name and email in here, and then I will click send and send the message here. So now the message is sent. Let's look at what that looks like from the other side. So I'm going to go into my new amazing split screen view again here. And on the left, you're going to see me talking from the mobile conversation here. And on the right, you're going to see talk and the agent. And you can see in purple at the bottom here, it's popped up with a suggested answer. So the AI has already, before I could even load the conversation, suggested a reply here. And it says, Pickle is free to download and use for your first fashion suggestion. After your initial free suggestion, each additional suggestion costs $15. So this is a really good answer. And, you know, I just started at this company, Pickle, and I don't really know how much it costs. So all of a sudden, I can be really effective by giving a really strong, detailed answer to the customer. And so now I've replied to this conversation. It's been assigned to me, and I can find it in my inbox. So I'll go over to my inbox, and let's test this AI out a little bit more to see how smart it is, and let's ask a harder question. Do you have an Android app, or is this just for iPhone? So we'll ask that question, and then the AI at the bottom is going to have a think about it. And what's happening behind the scenes here is this is accessing all of the training data that you can configure for your own AI or your fine-tuned AI on your own account. So at the bottom now, it says, currently Pickle's only available as an iPhone app. We are continuously working on expanding the platform. So it understood it. And I can just go about having this conversation almost on complete autopilot here. Let's ask one final question here. I'll say, I'm a bit concerned about privacy. What happens to my data when I upload a photo? Is it secure? So this is a pretty detailed question with multiple elements that the AI is going to have to think about and process here to give me a practical answer that I can use in the conversation. So it says, yes, your privacy and security are important to us. Your personal information and photos are securely stored, and we follow industry best practices. So again, I can insert this into the conversation here. And what a great answer it is. So back over on the phone, I'm getting great service here. I'm getting all my questions answered really quickly. So I'm going to go and react with a love heart emoji here. And you'll see that heart appears in here. And you can see Michael reacted with a love heart. Now, what's really cool about using Talk is it just has all the features of a modern messenger app. For example, you can drag and drop photos in. You can listen to Spotify playlists together if you'd really like, and even watch videos together in the chat. So it's a really great modern experience. There's rich text formatting in here as well. And it's not just about chat, as I'll show you momentarily. But before we go on with the demo, I do want to give you a closer look at the user interface here with Talk and what's going on, because we jump straight into examples with the AI here. And I will cover how you train your own AI a little bit later on. So on the right, we've got complete context, as I mentioned at the top of the presentation. We've got previous conversations over here that we've had with this particular person. Below that, I've got some data coming in from Stripe about what plan this person's on. And below that, I've got some extra details like the product score. I've got some contact notes saying even the AI can't help this guy. And I can configure this however I want. So these sections can be customized. And what's great about them is they can be customized at a team level. So if you want your support team to see a certain view about the customer, you want your sales team to see another view, you want your customer success team to see another view, you can configure all of that in here. And these are really easy to edit. You can drag and drop fields around from the CDP. You can bring in fields from other connected data sources like Salesforce. So you could have Salesforce fields in here as well. It's highly configurable, and it just means you have complete context. And for most of you who have data sources connected right now, this is already set up. It's ready to go. You don't need to do anything. You don't need to go and write some integration to show up information on the right-hand side. At the top, you'll see it shows my local date and time zone, where I'm based, and it says I'm online now. And you'll also see this asterisk. And this is telling me that this customer is not verified, so don't share any secure data with them or perform secure operations. And this feature isn't, that exciting to necessarily demo, but it's really important. What it means is if you authenticate someone with two-factor or a mechanism in your app where you know they're a trusted user, you can send Ortto an API call to say, hey, this is a trusted user, and they'll get a verification tick. And that verification means that the system knows they are who they say they are. But in this case, if you think about it, I could have just chatted in, said I was me, put in my email, and all of a sudden, the agent might accidentally give away secure information. So we've built in a lot of great security practices into the app from day one, so you don't have to worry about common traps that agents might fall into with social engineering attacks or security risks there as well. So up the top, this is where I can select which team the conversation goes to. Under the three dots, you've got features like snooze and mark as spam. And up top here, you can add tags about the conversation, but you'll also see the subject line for this conversation was generated by the AI as well. So it picked an appropriate subject line. And what that means is for reporting or just finding conversations in context in the panel down here, you'll always have a really good summary of the conversation to make it easier to find what you're looking for and search for later. Now, if a message comes from an email, we will adopt the subject line of the email, and I'll show you that here in a moment. But let's get on with our conversation and get back to it, because there's a few more exciting things I want to show you here. So in the message here, I'm going to say, I actually am a big wig at Bloomingdale's, and I think this technology could be great in our stores. Can I chat to someone about that? So now as the agent, I'm sitting here saying, I've got a hot lead here. And normally what you would do is you would probably randomly scramble to find someone in the sales team, and you'd pass that conversation over. Or if they wanted to do a call, like in this case, you'd have to get the salesperson to schedule it, organize a time, get a Zoom link going, figure out all your audio issues on the Zoom. But I have this customer in context right now wanting to chat with me. What if I could just call them? What if I could switch from a chat to just picking up the phone and talking to them? So we have this incredible ability up here. You can, if a user's online, I can just tap this button and initiate a call with them. And so in the bottom left here, you'll see what I see from the agent view. And on the left, you'll see that it just looks like an incoming call on the phone. And this just works out of the box. There's no setup. There's no software to install. So I'm going to accept the call, and you'll start to hear that ringtone now as I introduce the audio, and we'll click accept on the call. I'll allow my microphone. And now we've just switched over seamlessly to voice. We'll get a little bit of an echo here. I'll just put that on mute to continue the demo. And so now we're just chatting and having a conversation. And you can imagine how great this is for supporting customers or chatting to leads on your website. You can just jump straight into a call, chat to them. And what's even better about it is you can share screens with each other. So you can imagine the implications of this for support. So let's go ahead and share the screen. And I actually have a presentation I prepared earlier for Bloomingdale's here. And so on the phone, you'll see the presentation and screen share loads up. I can maximize that screen share and presentation so I can blow it up on the phone, because I'm still on a phone here, talking on voice and watching a presentation. And I'm gonna I'll move through that presentation to show you how fast it is. You're gonna get really high quality audio. There's very little latency. You're gonna love the calling experience. And so in the agent view, if I want to focus on this presentation and not be distracted by anything else, I can expand the view up here to full screen. So now I'm seeing what I'm presenting in full screen. But if the customer was sharing their screen, I could also blow it up to be able to follow along with them. Now, of course, you've got the chat panel available here. So if you want to keep chatting to the customer, or you did have audio issues, you can chat to them in here and, work the issue with them. Now, keeping in mind that maybe sometimes they don't want to chat on voice. And so you could also just chat in the panel and share the screen as well at the same time on these calls, which is a great feature. And of course, the AI will continue to work for you here. You can switch over to comment mode. You can share links. You can use our save replies. You can drag and drop images in if you need to. So for example, say there was a video that you wanted to link to, or the customer wanted to link to. I could paste a YouTube video link in here, and we would both get that video up on the screen. So let me show you what that looks like here on the phone. So you can see on the left, I've got the video up, and on the right, I've got the video up as well. And we could play that video and watch it. So as I said, it's a modern messaging experience. It's really, you're absolutely going to love using this with customers. It's truly delightful working through problems or being able to jump into a live demo about your product and pitch someone and say, hey, like, check this out. It's really powerful. And yeah, and here's what you can do with it. So this is voice and screen share. Now, we intentionally haven't done video because we just don't think there's demand for it yet. It feels weird to get on video with someone late at night if you're just trying to debug an issue, or so we feel like voice and screen share is the best way to do this for now, but we'd appreciate your feedback as you start to use these features. So I'm going to hang up from the phone, and what you'll see here in a moment is the whole thing collapses back, and I'm just back in Talk as we left off. So in our mobile view here, I'm going to say, thanks for the chat. That was incredible. Look forward to talking soon. Okay, so now let's say, thanks, talk soon. So I'm just sort of ignoring the AI there and hiding it away because I don't really need it right now. So let's look at one of these view changes here. So now I'm going to go and assign this conversation to sales. So I'll push it over to sales, and you'll see that assignment changes. Now, the assignment has stayed with me here because I'm the only salesperson in the company. I'm everything. So it's pushed it over to sales. But one thing you will notice is the view on the right-hand side has changed. And now we're seeing the sales view, which is showing me an opportunity is being created in Salesforce, Tech in Bloomingdale's, and I can see the opportunity amount for $2 million. So this view is entirely customized to the sales view. Now, if I switch to another view like fashion advisors and move the ticket over to our fashion advisors, we would see some fashion preferences in here. San Francisco formal being my primary style, and Fashion IQ 10. So it really just gives you context for the team that you are looking through that view on. Now, under activities, you've of course got the real-time activity feed in here. So you can see what they're doing when they're doing it and what's been going on with this user as well, which is really great to have. Just some other features I'll quickly call out. So you can see who's online and on what team, which agents are online just by clicking on your status. You can set your status up here. You can easily search for other tickets. So if we wanted to look at mentions of Android, because we're thinking about building an Android app, but we're not sure if there's much demand for it, we could go and find that in here. We've got our team inboxes and our different filtered views in here. Right now in this particular demo, you can't create your own filtered views, but soon after we launch this thing, you'll be able to create your own custom views in here as well. You can also compose new messages. So if you want to compose a message to someone who's online, and someone just, I think, actually revealed their details. I didn't actually think anyone would chat into me, but thank you for participating in my demo. These are all fake, by the way. You can do that here and go and compose a message. So I could compose a message here to Betty, and I've got the rich text formatting. And if she's not online, it will automatically dispatch an email. So one more thing I want to show you on the conversation front is how does it work when you get an email into Talk? And the reality is it doesn't work any different. And this is what's so great about Talk. Instead of like a lot of apps that bolted on channels over time, it's already built for a multi-channel world. So if you get in an email, it just looks like a chat message. And soon if you get in an SMS, it looks like a chat message as well. So here you can see I've got support@getpickle.me, and that's the email that this message was sent into. And it says, "Hi Sarah, thanks for the video chat. I'm copying in my CTO, Chris Sharkey, who will be able to explore with your team how we can integrate this technology. So this has come through an email. And in this email, I mentioned that I'm copying in the CTO. So we can see that's where this one other comes into it here. That's now in as a secondary contact. And I can add other agents into this conversation as well. So that's how we handle carbon copy and some of those elements that are native to email. But again, seamlessly transitioning between channels, devices, it doesn't matter. You just focus on the conversation and let AI help you have better conversations with your customers. So the next thing I want to do here is close out this conversation because it's now over, we're done, and I want to show you what happens when I do. So let's go back to this mobile screen here. We'll click close. And you'll see on the left-hand side, and I'll blow that up a little bit more, I get a survey. So this is where CSAT automatically comes into the equation. So rate your conversation with Sarah. And of course, I'm going to say great. That was a fantastic conversation. So I'll say fantastic. Sarah was great. So I'll submit that, and you'll see in the view here, we get Michael Sharkey rated the conversation great, and I can see, well, actually you can't see that because I'm not showing you. Here it is. So this just comes through in the panel so the agent can get the feedback, but it's also, of course, stored in very powerful analytics like you would now expect from Ortto. So let's have a look. There's a default dashboard called Talk Analytics, and this has pretty much out of the box everything you're going to need. It shows you open conversations, closed conversation, average conversation rating, first response time in minutes, and then trends about tickets, team performance, who's closing what, who's being assigned what. And of course, this is all highly customizable. And you'll see at the bottom, I've got recent ratings and review comments. You can see Sarah's doing a phenomenal job, and I've clearly practiced this demo a number of times. You can also use all of this conversation data in reports. You can look at average call times, screen shares, what features are being used. The data is all readily available, and you're going to love cutting through this data. I think a lot of these platforms have really struggled with data and analytics. That's a lot of the feedback we got when talking to people that were users of them. And now you can connect everything from someone coming from a UTM all the way to having a conversation and then going on to buy your product. So one of the final things I want to show you today is the configuration of this. So when we release this today, you're going to see Inbox is available in your account, and you'll be able to click into it and go through a really nice setup wizard experience. And down here, you'll see under push, we've got Talk, Messenger, and Inbox. So let's have a look at the Messenger configuration. So this is what we call the Messenger. This is what runs in your app and on your website. And you get this really nice preview panel to preview all the different states. So you can really understand how this thing's going to behave. Under Edit, you'll find configuration options for nearly everything you'd want to customize. So everything from the logo to the text at the top to even customizing and configuring your own icon. You can even change the margins or the position, so I can move it over to the left or right. You've got a number of different styles and icons out of the box, but like you can see I'm using with Pickle here, you can customize it to be whatever you want. So I can add a border to it, remove it. I've got greetings over here. You can even use personalization values if you know who they are and have sensible fallbacks. Below that, I've got this widget section, which shows you these components. And so you can imagine where we're going with this in the future. You'll be able to add other widgets to your Talk app in the future. So this is where you would configure that. And of course, a bunch of rules around conversations and how you want to identify users. So there's really a lot of detail in this already, and a lot more to come. Under Inbox, this is where you can manage your teams and the members of those teams. We've got assignment rules in here from day one. So if you want to go in and edit an assignment rule, you've got access to your entire CDP in here. So you can literally say if there's an opportunity in Salesforce, more than $500 that we're working, assign it to, the enterprise sales team. So it's really great in being able to intercept and route conversations. And based on different inboxes that you have set up, it allows you to route support emails to support, finance emails to finance, and you're going to get a lot of benefit out of that. So let's look now at the default option. So how the assignment works is it goes down the rules and then defaults to the support here. Of course, you can set up email inboxes for each team. There's a wizard to do that in here. And there's save replies as well. Now, the AI is using a number of factors to train itself. It's using your save replies, so it's learning how you would like to respond in certain scenarios. It's using all past conversations, and will soon have the ability through some very clever data source import wizards to actually train or fine-tune rather the AI based on all the data that you've accumulated from other conversation platforms. So we can learn how you talk, your tone of voice, and of course you can add content sources in here, and they can be really anything you want. Over time, we're going to add a lot more options in here as well. So eventually you could crawl your pricing spreadsheet, so you can train your AI to be really good at calculating prices for how much something will cost. But you can add these sources in here. You can crawl your website, your pricing page, whatever you like. And you'll see the system automatically rates and updates models and improves over time. And you can control the rollout of these models for your team. This is all just built into the box of any Talk subscription as well. So it's not coming soon. It's going to be available right now, today. So this is a technology you can really improve your team's productivity with. There's a number of other options that I'm not going to go into just for the sake of time and getting through this today. But there's two last things I want to show you. And one of those is if you're working late, you need to be able to turn off the lights. So we've built a really great dark mode experience as well. And we also have some plans to add some theming options as well in here, because people spend a lot of time in these messengers, and it's really nice to be able to customize them. So if you are working late, the dark mode can kick in at sunset, and then it's not going to burn your eyes with all that white screen in the background. So I think this has been pretty great. And one thing you can do with your team is celebrate your wins. If you close a deal, if you answered a hard support ticket, if you solved a billing problem and you're in the finance team, we have these slash commands, and they allow you to do things that you'll be able to program in the future, but you can switch from chat to comment mode, easily bring up a save reply, or celebrate with your team with a disco. So you can see I'm celebrating. All right, so it makes me laugh every time. All right, so that's disco mode, and that is Talk. Let's jump back over to our presentation, and I'll share a few more details with you about Talk. And then if you're interested, I'll take some questions. So Talk is going to be available today, right after this demonstration concludes. You'll be able to use Talk and try it out for yourself. The best part is we're not going to charge anything for Talk. You can use all the features you've seen today, the voice call, the screen sharing, the AI, completely on us until July 1st, at which time we'll charge $49 per seat per month. That is not to be confused with Ortto seats. You won't pay anything in addition to an Ortto seats. You won't have to pay for an Ortto seat if you want to buy Talk seats. We also have the concept of read-only users. So you'll be able to give people access to Talk without them needing a seat license or anything like that. So we've tried to make the billing as transparent as possible. Obviously, there's a lot of technology behind this voice video calling, and there will be some restrictions on minutes of voice that you'll have to pay additional for if you go over. So there'll be some included and a fair amount additional, but we're trying to bundle as much in as possible to give you the very best experience talking to your customers. The first seat is also free, so if you just have one support agent or you're a small business getting started with Talk, you can just use one seat free and interact that way. So everyone gets a seat included when the billing switches on. So I also wanted to talk about what's missing and what's to come. So we'd really like your feedback and ideas on this. We are committed to building the best omnichannel messaging platform in existence. And so we need your help. We'd love your feedback. We'd love your ideas. If you're using it and there's some things that upset you or you'd like to see, just tell us in that roadmap page and give us feedback. we will listen and respond as fast as we can. I wasn't able to demo SMS conversations today, and I know a lot of you are hanging out for it and probably are disappointed not to see it, but I assure you, Talk was architected around all the channels. So you can imagine that it is coming very soon, and it will come very soon before that July date. We also know a lot of you use and rely on knowledge-based systems in Zendesk, Intercom, and various other platforms, and this could be a big problem migrating to Talk if you'd like to do that. So what we've done is we're going to work on a very innovative knowledge-based system that will utilize AI to help you write articles, help you identify gaps where you mightn't have an article for, and we will work hard to roll that out as soon as possible so we fill that gap for you. Now, we don't intend to build bots, and you might be surprised to hear that. The reason is I hate bots. I think they're terrible. I mean, we basically replace call centers with bots. Press 1 for sales, press 2 for support. There's nothing worse than going to a website and getting that bot interaction. So instead, we're going to release what we call AI agents. And you've seen some examples of the AI and how powerful it is today, but AI agents you'll be able to train to do certain skills. They might be able to issue refunds or, help people add things into their accounts. You'll be able to train them, and they're going to be really powerful. And what it'll mean is you can just focus on the conversations that matter. Of course, there'll be an API and an SDK. Right now, we are lacking mobile app support. So your customers can talk to you on mobile, but you can't talk back to them if you want to have conversations on the go. But that is coming very soon. It'll be available in the next week or so. There's also some missing multilingual customization options, but if you are a business that is, using multiple languages to communicate with customers, don't worry, we have you in mind, and that will again also be solved pretty soon here. We're going to let you build custom slash commands as well. As you saw, disco mode, it's a pretty cool example of that, being able to celebrate with your team and celebrate wins. I would also like to see a gong for when you close sales and deals. And of course, soon you'll be able to create conversations in journeys. Today, you can proactively do conversations with Capture, but soon we'll add that feature into journeys as well. And on the right, you can see a preview of a new upcoming Capture widget that allows you to record videos and have closed captions on them, and put that into your onboarding or your various other places as well that you want to do it. And so the proactive conversations that you're used to from Autopilot, if you're an Autopilot customer originally, that is now all in Capture and available today as well. All right, so that was a lot of talking. We did have a fair amount to get through. So I'm going to switch over now to QA, Q&A, not QA. What am I doing? So I hope you've enjoyed the event today. Let me try and bring up the questions here, and we will talk through them. All right, so can the AI answer automatically with no human intervention? So not right now. We actually tried this, believe it or not, and we were using it in our own business for quite some time, where it would throw in the answer, but you'd still have to send. So it was sort of like if you imagine being an airline pilot where you're monitoring the autopilot, but you don't have to do anything. You're just watching it to make sure it doesn't do anything wrong. We don't think the technology's there just yet, but we think it's close. So in future, with the AI agents, which you'll see soon, you will be able to take on certain conversations automatically without you having to do anything. And it'll be really good too. Much better than a bot. In fact, they won't really even need to know they're speaking to a bot. And then if it panics, it will just transfer it over to a human. So there's a lot more to bring to you on that front, but we just wanted to bring you what we think works really well today. And that's just taking away a lot of the heavy lifting. Because if you think about it, there's a lot of knowledge in your organization, and yeah, like there's a lot of accumulated knowledge in your organization from your team, and the AI just allows a new agent to act like they've been working at your business for years. So someone's asked, how extensible is Talk API access? Right now, it's pretty limited, but we do intend to bring and really work on the API access for this. You'll be able to customize it and eventually, as I said, add / commands and eventually your own apps to do certain things. The AI agents API will be really interesting as well. You'll be able to give agents access to various APIs to do certain things with limitations as well. So someone's asked if Talk can be added into their iOS or Android app. The answer is yes, eventually, but not right now. We are working on that at the moment. So you'll be able to use Talk on mobile in the very near future, and that is a feature we intend to release. Okay, so how will AI learn the answers? Will it crawl the website and all the emails I've sent? So yes, it's basically feeding and improving the model based on the conversations you're having, and that's why you see the model updates coming through. There's also performance metrics to show you how your AI model's improving over time, and this is how we intend to bring AI more throughout the app, where you get to control your own model. It's not some generic model that you're using. You're using your own data. It's using a vector database to pull that information in and get better over time. It's not technically learning, it's more fine-tuning using a large language model, but it works incredibly well. And the code behind this to actually serve up those answers like you're seeing is very complex. It's not easy to do, and the team's done a phenomenal job of building that interface and that experience. I think you'll really love it. So someone's asking about integrating with external chat platforms, Messenger, Instagram, WhatsApp for business. Yes, we intend to bring all the channels to Talk. So again, that seamless experience. We'll just keep adding channels in. So WhatsApp is really on our horizon, especially for our European customers. I know WhatsApp's incredibly important, and we'll use that. Someone's asking, what am I using for my presentation? I am using a OBS broadcasting platform, but I've worked on this setup for a long time to be able to show those split screen views. So I hope you've enjoyed them. That was definitely not easy to do live. So someone's asking, can you record and transcribe the call? Yes. It's not available right now, and it won't be available until we start doing the billing a bit later. So that's sort of our next milestone to get a lot of these features ready. The AI is amazing at transcribing calls and conversations and giving you a summary, so that will happen automatically after every call. So someone's asking, where does voice calls or like a telephone system sit on our roadmap? And people are asking basically, can they do phone conversations, I think here. So it's not on our radar just yet. We really wanted to solve the problem of communications that come from the customer journeys you build and the automation that you're working on through journeys and facilitating those two-way conversations. But as I said earlier, we do have just so much planned for Talk. We're going to keep investing a lot in this platform. It's definitely not going to be like a set and forget thing. And for those thinking it's going to take up all of our attention, it's certainly not. We have different teams working across the business on different things all the time. So we will dedicate a lot of resources to this project this year to just really bring things to life. So if you suggest it and harass us enough, we may build a full telephone system for you and allow you to register numbers. We already have that capability, so it's not a stretch to do that. Or build a full IVR system in the Journey Builder as well. That would be cool. I would like that. So can you customize the tone of the AI? We tried this. I don't think it's very good. But if you do want this feature and you want us to do something there, it's something we would consider looking at again. We experimented around with this. This interface has changed about 300 times, to be honest with you. And we just thought it wasn't very good. Like, it didn't... You don't use it. I think I saw like Intercom and Zendesk and a bunch of these other companies have... Atlassian's another one. They've put in these sort of generic AI features where you have to click a button and be like, please suggest an answer or make this more formal. And we tried those kind of interfaces a while ago, and they just don't work very well. It's not a great experience. You don't use it. The usage data says that you just stop using it. It needs to come up and be right there in front of you, similar to the subject line suggestions. But again, if you want tone of voice correction, we might look at it. One thing we are interested in is translations. There's a lot we can do on that front. Someone's asking, is the first seat free forever? Yes, it's free. That's not some gimmick until July 1st. You can use that seat forever. So you'll always get one seat of talk for free. Keep in mind, there will be limitations on the voice and screen share capacity because that is not cheap. Okay, so a few more questions we'll get through and then we might wrap it up unless there's any more. So, so hopefully, I think I'm on a bit of a delay, but I did cover the Messenger, Instagram, and WhatsApp. We are intending to add those channels pretty soon. So we will have all of the channels. So I'm just processing these questions in my head. When will we be able to use mobile devices to even set up a basic journey? The response from the support team was just, Ortto does not support mobile devices. So we do support iPad and tablets with journeys, so it's a great touch interface. You can see our interface is designed for touch. I actually use a touch device when I'm building journeys. I use my Surface because it's just so great at being able to interact with the canvas. But it just doesn't work very well on the phone. We may eventually add it. I just don't really see anyone doing it or wanting to do it. Like there's really little demand for building journeys on a phone, but maybe I'm wrong. So if I'm wrong, just upvote it in the roadmap page, and I'm guided by that. That's my guiding light. We go off the roadmap page. So someone said, can the AI auto bump a non-responded to message? Yeah, we are adding features like that, so surfacing up conversations that might have been missed. But keep in mind, our long-term vision is to automate a lot of those things with AI, like have the overarching AI agent looking after things for you. So the way we do that will probably not be how you expect. But yeah, there's a lot of things to come. We just wanted to get this into your hands. We think it's far enough along now that it's going to be really useful to you. And then we can just keep working with you, add new features, and get feedback as well. So someone's saying we are not able to use it on an iPad. I think you're referring to the Autopilot Journey Builder. That does not have iPad support, but the new Journey Builder does. Unfortunately, our email editor does not have very good mobile creation experience yet, but we are working on improving that through the provider of that email system. Someone's asking for the go-to shape for the journeys. And yes, we do owe you that. We're going to get on that. We have obviously been a little bit distracted with Talk and Push and various other things we've been rolling out, but you know, there's a lot more on AI obviously coming throughout the year. There's a lot of areas you can start to imagine where we might roll this out, journeys being one of them. And I think the go-to shape, you know, that's something I really want as well as multi variant outcomes. There's a lot of improvements throughout the system that we want to bring to you. And, you know, I'm a power user of Ortto too. And so I also want a lot of these things. All right. I think that'll wrap it up for now. I really appreciate you tuning in, all of your support. As I said earlier, I wanted to give a really big shout out to the Ortto team, who I know is watching in our Sydney office and around the globe right now. Thank you for all of your hard work. Thanks to our customer teams for being our guinea pigs and putting up with all of the changes and updates to Talk in real time while supporting our customers around the clock. And congratulations to everyone that worked on these products. I hope you and our customers out there really enjoy using them. And yeah, so it's been my pleasure. We'll try and do another one of these events really soon here. Thanks for watching and attending. And as always, we'll see you soon.